On this episode, we're going to take you back to the movies of 1991.
Like the past. The movie never changes. It can't change, but every time you see it, it seems different because you're different. You see different things.
Hey, welcome to my so-called podcast. I am Gary Linton. And
Hey, Gary, it's me, Eric Spiegel.
hey, Eric, how you doing? So I want to just say this is a podcast where we go back into a week in the 90s and we talk about an album and a movie that were released the same week, usually. But we're doing our year
but,
in...
we've been breaking that rule. There's been a real liberal interpretation of that rule, but
Yes.
it's a thing that people do these year-end, although we're kind of stretching the year-end definition, but every January we kind of going to go back.
If people can have birthday months, we can have year-end months in the January.
Yeah, and ever since we've gone back to, I think, 1995 from 2015, we've kind of gone all the way through a lot of years, Gary, right?
That's right. Yep.
And this year we're going back 20 years ago to 1991, when
Dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Dinosaurs, yeah. When a personal phone would probably be attached to your car.
Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the best movies of our favorite movies of 1991 and some.
Yeah, the music year was phenomenal, right? We conferred 2 weeks ago about that, and we decided it was beyond reproach. Gary, you have any first impressions of 1991 movies? Is it which one wins, 1991 movies or 1991 music?
There are some good movies, but I'm gonna go probably with the music was higher. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Although the more I dug into 1991, the more I found some adequate films.
Yep.
Should we do this alone, Gary?
No, we have guests. We have guests.
Usually, right?
So yeah, we have Paul.
Where are they?
They're here. We have Paul Wegmann joining us.
Oh, hey, Paul.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And Scott Ravenhill's with us also.
Oh,
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm good. Good. I'm glad to be here, chopping it up.
Yeah. So you recently traveled coast to coast, I heard.
Costa a costa, as they say down under the U.S. in Mexico.
Why isn't that down under? Why don't we refer to Mexico as down under?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff down under.
Right, that's true.
Not just Australia.
Especially like to Canada, for example. Hey, Paul, do you have any thoughts on this?
No, I don't have a single thing to add to what you two are saying.
How have you been, Paul?
I've been good. I've been solid. Yeah, it's been good.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. Sorry you guys weren't on the music one. The music was better. But movies were not terrible, and I think we're going to get some good combo in, don't you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of really good movies like that. It's a solid lineup of solid movies. Is what I would think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of movies I wanted to watch when I was 12 years old, but I was too young.
Yeah, there was definitely that.
And I still haven't watched a lot of them.
Those are funny to go back and watch, like the Forbidden Fruit movies.
Like Legal Eagles. Man, I wanted to watch that. I wanted to watch that so bad.
Big Daryl Hannah fan. Big Deborah Winger fan.
For sure.
Well,
What was
that Hollywood where you got nudity for some reason without
that was that's like the flip side of forbidden movies. It's the forbidden fruit within the movie that is approved by everyone.
Right. It's like there you are just watching it with your grandma and boom, she pops up naked out of the water. So
right. That's what it's like watching soap commercials in France, I'm told.
So you have a friend that is constantly telling you about watching soap commercials in France and all the boobs you can see.
Dude, you got to get over here, man.
Yeah, he's an American guy. I've got him on the inside. I pay him to be there. He's on my payroll just because I want to get the up-to-date information on this.
Money well spent, Eric. Money well spent.
I think so. So, thanks for being on, you guys. As you know, there's going to be some rules. We're going to try and talk about different movies and different performances. So you may not get to talk about your favorite, but you can slide it in there. But you have to come up with a different movie for us to talk about. And as Gary said, you don't have to follow any of these rules, I suppose.
That's right. Rules are penalties. That's right.
But we're going to do best movie or favorite movie, or however you want to define it, however it sings to you. And then best performance, followed by the I Didn't Get It award, to be interpreted broadly, and the They Didn't Get It award, which is more positive note to end on. And we'll randomly assign who goes first with some dice. Make sense?
Yeah. Can I say, like, what if I don't get the movie that is somebody else's top choice from a different category? Can I still say that?
Yes.
Or is that no repeat?
No, you can say that.
Yeah, Gary is the ultimate arbiter of truth. So whatever he says. But you should hold me to that because I had to go turn off my projector. It was making a noise.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'll pull up the old dice application, the Mighty Dice. It's got a 4-sided dice as well as 20, 12, 10, 8, 6. It's fun. Get it?
Yeah, it sounds fun. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it'll be Gary's 1, Paul's 2, Scott, you're 3, I'm 4. And I'm going to roll for the favorite movie first talker. It's a 2, which is Paul.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with a favorite movie, Terminator.
Terminator 2, Paul.
Yes, correct. Yes, Terminator 2 was, I would say, my favorite movie.
Did they do any judgment in that movie, Paul?
Yeah, they might have had a judgment, entire day of judgment.
Wow.
Yeah, they did the solid day of judgment. I had the second one. Anyway, it's probably the movie I've watched the most on the list. And because I didn't like scary movies, so I didn't watch other movies that some people might say that I won't mention. But I did watch Terminator 2 a lot, and I liked it. So,
did you go see that in 1991?
I don't think I did because it was R-rated and I'm not allowed to see it. So I saw it much later and not in 1991.
So I don't know how I was able to go see it in 1991, but I'm pretty sure my brother took me to go see it at the movie theater in 1991. And yeah, so I was able to get in. That was before they were like real strict about like, are you over 18? So
right. Yeah, before Basic Instinct came out.
That's right.
The following year.
I might have we might have got into that one. I might have seen that one.
I think a lot of kids did. When it was my impression when it came out in the summer, and when we came to school the next fall, it was my impression that most of the kids had gone to see it, or maybe we're lying about it. I don't know. But I wanted to see it so bad, I convinced my whole family to rent it once it was a new release for $3. You know, that's big bucks. And my mom was like mad at me. She's like, we shouldn't have watched this.
I mean,
and I was like, I'm sorry, not sorry, Mom.
They're so big that my mind imagines them seeing them on a big screen. So I think I did. I don't remember it, because they're just like the truck coming over thing. Everything was so it was big. It's a big screen movie, is what I'm saying. Like that's where you should.
Yeah, he makes big movies.
Yeah.
It was loud too.
What's
from
that?
what I recall.
Yeah, that's the thing that I never experienced. But yes, I'm noticing sound design more these days. Like I saw the new Blade Runner in the theater, and like that was a really big part of that experience. So I imagine like a movie like this is also pretty, because he's all about the immersive, kind of a deal. So I imagine that it is like that. I saw The Abyss in the theater.
What year was
89.
that? 89.
89, yeah. I was on vacation at the ocean, and we went to see The Abyss. That was awesome.
Did you stay away from the ocean after that happened?
Hey, spoiler alert, Paul. They're nice creatures.
Okay, well, still, it's a tense movie.
Michael Biehn, not so great.
Yeah, I mean, there's scary people in the ocean is what I learned from that movie. So
Yeah, that's what the original working title of The Abyss was. There's scary people in the ocean.
they should have
kept it.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
So back to
in other countries.
Back to 1991. Terminator 2. The only reason it's rated R is basically because of the violence. And I have a conundrum here in 2022 is I want to show my 13-year-old Terminator 2 because it's such a great movie. And he's like,
he kicks ass.
And he can handle the violence, but I don't want to show him the first movie because of the sex scene. So it's kind of like,
don't you edit movies? It's fine. It's quite a long sex scene. So I know I'm the future you, and I've been here, and the sex scene's much longer than you would want it to be in that movie.
I mean, me as a 43-year-old, or 44-year-old, it's not long.
And the funny thing is that's one of those movies, the first Terminator, that I was very familiar with, taped off of television off Channel 11, and so I didn't even know there was a sex scene in Terminator. The movie doesn't need it. It works narratively without it.
You're such an American, Gary. You're not afraid of the violence, but a little sex in the movie, you're afraid to expose you.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Well, I thought that he really did kind of go for the idea of it being a horror movie, the first one, and there is horror style gore in the second one too. The T-1000 impales people through the head, and there's a lot of blood everywhere. And whenever Sarah Connor's kicking butt in the psychiatric ward, she does some real bloody damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that's like a staple in action movies is that kind of level of violence, not just people shooting.
But never gore. Like gore is reserved for like a movie that's trying to make a point or a horror movie. But like the amount of like people's heads exploding on the sidewalk because of explosions and stuff in the Avengers movies, if it were real. Like it's
but you look like the John Wick movies or whatever now. They're action movies with lots of gore in them still.
Yeah, that's stylized ultra-violence.
Yes. So Terminator 2, my favorite movie.
That's a good pick. Good pick.
Okay, so I guess I'll roll them dice. And it looks like number 2 again, Paul. Boy, your hot hand.
Okay. My next movie is
okay, so I'm 4 and I just rolled me. So I thought this was really hard, y'all. And I didn't think it was going to be hard to go fourth because I don't know if I have a super favorite on here other than The Silence of the Lambs. So I'll just say that.
Sure.
Because I've recently rewatched that, and it's one of those movies that if you watch it over and over again, you'll notice new things. It's really, really well put together. The screenplay is amazing. It manages to be somewhat humane despite the inhumanity on display, which like is a line that like Ridley Scott could not walk in the Hannibal movie. And I don't know. It's it's one of my favorite movies, even though I think the subject matter is reprehensible, and it does glorify a certain kind of evil a little bit, which is why Michelle Pfeiffer wasn't in the movie. And it also spurred a million wannabes that we still live with to this day on CBS at 8 p.m., the serial killer of the evening, which we didn't live in that world before this movie. But it's just a really perfect movie.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I mean, it definitely has its flaws 30 years later, because you can be like, oh, yeah, the killer has a sexual perversion or one, and it's like, is that those aren't related, but the movie tries to make it be related, and
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Gary. It's dated by that. And yeah, I could see people feeling like that was a fatal flaw for sure. 'Cause it is, I mean, overtly transphobic.
Yeah,
Which is, a pitiful shame, because the rest of it's so darn good. But it just shows how behind the times, how long ago this was, I guess, I think I said 20 years before. That's not how long ago it was.
No, 30 years. Yeah.
That's how old we are.
That was my wishful thinking. So that's mine.
When did you see it for the first time?
That's a great question, Scott, because it reminds me of something about myself.
Yeah.
I would say college for me is the first time I saw it. I don't think I saw it, okay?
I read the book in 91 because the movie was out, and that was the closest I could get to watching that. And I watched it, I don't know when, really. And at that point, I was like, well, I like the book better. But I had I had Anthony Hopkins' performance in my mind when I was reading it because I knew of the movie, right? So it's not really fair. But then when I'd watched it again, like, subsequent, like 5 years later, 10 years later, once in a while, I just feel like it gets better in my mind, almost everything about it. It's just surprising how really elegantly everything is handled. Particularly, I think her being a woman in the FBI is handled really well by the movie, maybe not so much by the book. I don't think Thomas Harris is really into nuance, but the movie is. Jonathan Demme's great.
How many books were there?
There were 3 books. There was The Silence of the Lambs. Before that was Red Dragon, and then Hannibal. Oh, I guess there was Hannibal Rising, but I don't know if anybody counts that. They made that into a movie nobody knows exists. But Red Dragon is interesting because it was a fairly well-regarded Michael Mann movie called Manhunter that was made out of it. So this was kind of a bastard stepchild. Like why would we make a sequel to Manhunter with a different Hannibal Lecter? Essentially, was where it was sitting around for a while and not getting made.
Was he called Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter? I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah. So if you've ever seen the movie Red Dragon, that's Manhunter. So it's the Hannibal Lecter is in a cage and he's giving advice to a guy who's solving a murder. It's a very similar, like, beats of the plot, but the bad guy's got a different deformity. And I think the movie just sort of classes up the whole situation by focusing more on the human beings involved, including, like, the girl that's in the well. Like, I feel like she's a full-fledged character as opposed to just somebody in distress. Like, everybody gets to be a person, even though it's all this horrible stuff.
Is she ever an actress that you've seen later? Because it almost feels like she's a real person that was in that movie, and everybody else is famous, but the girl in the well was the girl in the well.
She was reenacting some trauma that she already had.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, well played, I guess, is for the role, but like, she never did anything else after being the girl in the well, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you trying to send some love down the well, Paul?
She's the one that had to put the lotion on the skin, and that's your own call to fame. Like, I was the girl in the well. That was me. I didn't die, so I made it through the movie. So
yeah.
Kudos to me.
I mean, if that's her only performance, it's a good one. I mean, I could look it up, but here we are.
Everybody else, all the careful listeners can go Google that themselves and figure
That's
out.
right. That's right.
Yep. I'm going to roll the old dice and see who's next. Looks like it's going to be our friend Scott.
All right, favorite movie. I gotta be honest. I went through the list. Nothing really jumped out at me. And a lot of those movies, I feel like you know the movie, but I don't think I've watched a lot of those movies because I don't know, or I just can't remember much about them. But I know I've seen a few of them. But a few jumped out that I did remember enjoying a lot. I'm gonna give you 5. No, I'm kidding. The first
We'll
one
be
that
glad to
jumped
hear the other 4 after Gary goes, Scott.
No,
Okay.
say all 5 and you can't say any of them.
That's right. Ah!
out. I was a huge fan of Blood Simple as a 5-year-old in 1984, so I was eagerly awaiting their 4th picture of the Coen brothers, which was Barton Fink, that came out in 91.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go Barton Fink as my favorite. I think it's the one I remember the most of, and just how the shots in the movie and the acting and the great turn by Steve Buscemi as Chet. The bellhop still is burned into my memory.
John Mahoney gives a great performance also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, didn't you and I see that movie for the first time together? I think in Stafford dorm we rented it from Schnooks on Forum, I think.
Yeah, that's quite like, because maybe it was a double billing with Picnic at the Hanging Rock.
No. That was that'll be a day that lives in infamy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Barton Fink, we went over to Funhouse afterwards and we talked about it for like 3 hours.
Were you?
Was that the first, besides Blood Simple, that you saw when you were a baby? Is this the first Coen Brothers movie you saw, Scott?
It's probably one of the first. I watched a bunch of them, like Miller's Crossing. I think like around college, I went through pretty much, or high school, I went through a lot of their catalog.
But didn't everybody kind of watch Raising Arizona at one point and not know it was the Coen brothers? Like, I think I watched that movie before I knew that there was a Coen brothers, or that would be meaningful to me.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Like Barton Fink's like the 7th Coen brother movie I've seen. Like I had not seen it until I saw a lot of their other movies before.
Yeah.
I saw.
Well, a lot of people felt like they were headed in the wrong direction because they made the Hudsucker Proxy after they made Miller's Crossing after this one, and it was like a big budget one that really didn't hit. And so then the next one they made was Fargo, which basically just made everybody love them forever. And I think Fargo made people go backwards in their catalog too.
Yeah, but I like Hudsucker Proxy.
Hudsucker Proxy is great, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't say it was bad. I said it was unsuccessful financially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not in my mind.
No.
Scott, were you?
They're as solid as that tailor's job on Paul Newman's pants.
Yes. Scott, were you happy to see Barton Fink just because it was a rated R movie?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Why was it a rated R movie? I'm trying to think of why that would have been. Because John Goodman was scary, or like why was that a rated R movie?
I think there's some harsh language.
Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, there is a suggested decapitation, but I don't think that gets you an R.
Not these days. Heads pop off all the time in PG-13 movies.
I think what? You guys are going to let that go?
Yep.
Like in all the Marvel movies, they decapitate people all the time.
I think just Thanos that I remember.
Is Breaking Dawn?
Oh, spoiler! Come on, man.
Is Breaking Dawn R-rated? I don't think so. And like every single vampire has to be killed by their head popping off. And
although I do think that since it's a Thanos and since it's a vampire, people think it's not quite the same as a human being's head getting cut off. I'm just telling you, this is me trying to read the tea leaves of the MPAA. It doesn't ever make sense.
I mean, like, as long as there's not a lot of blood with the decapitation, let them roll, they say, That's
right. But if you got, like, some sort of a wound that gushed blood, that would be rated R, even if you lived.
That's right.
So Barton Fink, I mean, that's the kind of movie where it's a real acid test for can you handle ambiguous endings. Is it worth it for you if the mystery box remains closed? And I think there are some people that are like totally fine with that. And there are some people who it makes them feel like they got cheated. And I think that that's why this is not, everyone's favorite Coen Brothers movie is what I would guess.
I mean, yeah, I was all over that ambiguity, because that's what I desire in everything, and I don't like stuff tied up nicely. It just upsets me greatly, and I think it all stems from Barton Fink.
Yeah, I think a large part of you as yourself, at least to me, Scott, is undefined. So yeah, it's a large chunk of your personality. So yeah, I think that would fit with you quite nicely.
Yeah, Barton Fink lives within me.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, good
I think that was the goal of the Coen brothers. So job well done, I say to them.
The humor of Barton Fink is very strange because you're not exactly laughing at John Turturro's character or anybody else, but the absurdity of the situations that they're all in is very amusing in a dry way. But it does sort of slowly become more and more sort of horrific as it goes along, where it's not really funny at all by the end. It becomes less and less amusing and more like a David Lynch movie, actually, towards the end of the movie. Yeah. Which, it's so interesting. They're truly in command of their craft, and it's like amazingly well done, but it's also like they knew they were going to be alienating tons of people with this.
They do that, I think they probably did that with Hudsucker Proxy too,
Well, that was an expensive one. I think they thought that was going to be a crowd pleaser, which it is.
Yeah.
Just not financially. But that a Serious Man movie is a real FU to like entertaining, predictable cinema story beats.
That's one I did not get. The Serious Man. If we're already jumping ahead here, and it's the year 2007.
Yeah, that has an ambiguous ending.
Yeah. Just didn't like the movie. I don't know why that one didn't hit.
Too much Merkins.
I guess.
Don't you think it's funny the guy that's trying to take his wife's name is Saul Goodman? And he's always just really gently trying to take his wife away. He's like, we'll all be happier. Why don't you just let us all be happy? I don't know. I enjoy it. It's very uncomfortable, though. Well, Gary, you're last, man.
Okay. Well, yeah. So 3 great picks. Unfortunately, you were all wrong. No. No. So I probably would have picked any of those 3, but since I am fourth and I can't choose any of them, I got to go with Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
nice.
That's nice.
I thought Eiffel Goes West, but okay. Fine,
don't rewatch that if you haven't recently, Paul. If you like Eiffel Goes West.
I actually did like Eiffel Goes West. I think I also saw it in the theater back in the day. So I'm not planning on rewatching it. But sorry, talk about Beauty and the Beast, Gary, because that's your
Well, yeah, I think that's at Disney at their height there. They were able to. You can go back and kind of be like, somebody tweeted recently. Belle was like, wait, you're going to feed me and I get this big mansion to myself? Yeah, I'll stay here. And the Beast was it's like, wait, it's not as much of a punishment as the Beast thought. So
Gary, if I'm giving you Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and The Little Mermaid, are you still picking Beauty and the Beast out of that cluster?
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, because I think it is a tale as old as time. I heard that somewhere, and
I can vouch for that.
The animation, I think they're on target there with, and you don't have the racist undertones like Aladdin, where it's like, wait, I don't know if these stereotypes work.
Right. The stereotype is a muscular white guy that thinks he's awesome. And that is a real thing.
That's
got
right.
Charisma, though.
Yeah, and every single inch of him is covered in hair.
Right. We all wanted to be Gaston growing up, right?
I'll tell you what I really like about this movie is that the songs are great, and the songs are good, even the ones that have just tell exposition. The beginning song where Belle's doing an intro, Gaston, Be Our Guest, like they're all really good. I mean, the songs are like top quality. I guess there's a documentary about Howard Ashman and his kind of change from being a Broadway guy to writing some of these really, really memorable songs before he died of AIDS. It's on Disney Plus. We watched it a year or so ago. We only watched a little bit of it, like half of it, because you guys don't want to know why. Roku problems.
Yeah,
you guys want to talk about my Roku?
No.
That sounds like an interesting podcast subject. Let's all switch from the movies and go to the Roku problem.
Yeah, I could tell you of all the ways I tried to troubleshoot it at the Airbnb if you want to.
The password was the problem.
I mean, it's great animation. I think, they really were able to take that story and give it the 1991 treatment and everything like that. So, yeah, Beauty and the Beast. Check it out at your local Blockbuster.
Featuring Jerry Orbach.
Yeah, it's timeless. You only have to remake it one more time for,
that's right. Yeah.
Did you see the real life
did.
action one?
Would you picked her as Hermione? I can't remember her name right now, but as Belle?
Belle?
Yeah.
Belle? Literally beauty in French. Belle.
No, he's talking about the actress that plays Hermione. What's her name?
Yes.
Emma Watson.
Thank you. Emma Watson. Yeah. Idiot.
You
in French.
idiot.
Beauty.
No.
Idiot. You're so dumb.
Thanks for coming on the podcast, Paul.
Yeah, no, I'm happy.
It's good. It's good stuff. I guess it depends on how. Oh, the remake. I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I don't care. No, thank you.
Okay.
I just am offended by the whole concept of these dumb remakes. It's like there's like you can even tell the similar story in a different way. Just make something else. Like I don't even care how good they are, but I don't need to see real lions. Like it wasn't the realism of the lions that made people like the Lion King. Like I don't need to see real lions dancing.
They weren't real lions. I got something to tell you.
They were also animated lions.
Yes.
Well, okay, so fine. That was even less impressive, right?
Yes.
Now, if they would have trained lions to do all those parts and sing, then yes, I would go see that.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. That would be great. Hey, you guys have any? Should we do? I guess what I'll tell you is that after we get through all 4 categories, we will have an honorable mention. So you get some chances to throw out a bunch of movies towards the end there. Should we move to the next category, fellas?
Yep. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. We are going to do the best performance and. The person going to talk first actually is Gary.
Okay, so
went last time, and that's how the dice came out, guys.
All right. So exactly. I'm going to go with my best performance, as previously mentioned, from Barton Fink, John Goodman. I think he gives the best performance of 1991. I think he's just a force du jour. Right? Am I no?
Majeure.
Force majeure.
Yes.
He's the most memorable thing of that movie for me. It's like that. The John Goodman performance in that movie is the most memorable thing for me.
I mean, he's over the top, but the role calls for it to be over the top, and and then when he finally goes completely over the top, it's like, oh, I get it. That makes sense. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was all fake.
Yep.
That's why it seemed fake.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think it's actually scarier because you don't quite understand what's going on. But it is, and it's terrible.
Yep.
Which is actually a very, an adequate or accurate description of a lot of parts of life.
Let's not get into your marriage here, Eric. About music, about movies.
Yeah, sorry. I told you guys I wasn't going to talk about that on the podcast.
So yeah, I'm going with John Goodman.
Nice. Paul, you're next.
Oh, I'm next. So I'm actually going to go Cuba Gooding Jr. and Boys in the Hood.
That's a good performance.
Nice. Yep.
That I like that movie a lot. I've actually watched it a lot. Like it was like, but every time it was one of those movies I never rented, but it was on. I just would watch the whole thing, and I really remember him in it, and I like that movie. So that's just it's like looking through the list. The guy that stood out for me most was that. So
yeah, everybody's really good in that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Like a lot of these movies that's a good movie. You wouldn't say like that's like the best movie ever, but there's a lot of like that's a good movie. That's a good movie. Like just going down the list.
Mm-hmm. I know it's like the year of B pluses.
I know, but a lot of B. That's why this was hard. It's like there's a lot of B pluses. Like I have a lot of good anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of good movies. I can steal everybody else's answers and just start going down the list. But you said do at the end, Eric. So
Barton Fink is a really good example of a movie that won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. That does not translate like a best picture, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's never gonna win best.
Right, but it might win Palme d'Or, and I think that's why the Palme d'Or is always sort of bizarre because they know that they have the freedom to give that to whatever they want, and they usually go for innovation over crowd pleasery. Because Green Book is busy winning Best Picture.
That's right.
Oh God,
Eric, we talked about Boys in the Hood. That was pretty early in Cuba Gooding Jr.'s career, too, right? Wasn't that like just a second or third?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fairly early on, and I think that Lawrence Fishburne kind of walks away with that movie too. They're both really good in it.
Yeah.
So Ice Cube's really good in that. I'm like they're all there's a lot of anyway.
It does seem like the more guns are around, the scarier life is. Is the way that movie feels to me. And it does seem to bear out that way. That's not the only thing going on, but I am afraid of like Uzis.
That's a healthy
I think
fear.
that's one of the things that I usually think movies are really good whenever like the threat of violence or actual violence is like really upsetting or like really scary. Like that they're making it feel like they're real people then, and then you're like, oh God, I don't want any of these people to die.
There's stakes involved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
Yeah, just think about it.
All right, you don't actually have to pantomime writing it down. Who's next?
He's doing it.
It's me. I'm next.
Okay.
Scott, you'll be last. I'll pick something off the wall so you can still get what you were going to say, Scott. I
don't know about that, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I'm going to forego obvious choices, from which are plentiful. I'm going to give it to Christina Ricci and the Addams Family.
Okay.
Because I recently rewatched that, and she is really, really, really funny in that movie, and she is really good, and she never breaks the tone that she's hitting, which is like this weird, like scary but funny but friendly but like not too friendly kind of a thing, and she's always pitch perfect, and she's hilarious, and she's a child in the movie. It's very impressive. And I didn't remember thinking that when I first saw it. I just remember thinking like, oh, it's fine, but like she's great.
Yeah, she came out great. I mean, like, she was in that Mermaids movie with Winona Ryder and Cher. She's great in that. She's in, Addams Family. Yeah, she's been consistently great for 30 years.
Opposite of Sex, Ice Storm. She's
Black
in
Snake Moan.
Yep. Yep.
She's in this Yellow Jackets show that I'm watching currently, and she's really awesome in that. That's some excellent Christina Ricci.
Okay.
That's on Showtime, right? I was wondering, but so Yellow Jackets, okay.
Yep. Showtime. We got Showtime per month for free because we wanted to watch that movie Minari, which I also recommend.
That's not about Mina Suvari. Right? That's what I first thought of.
Yep. It is. You hit the nail on the head. It's an expose of the early part of Mina Suvari's career, from American Pie to American Beauty.
The storied career for 6 months. They both came out in 99, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's mine. I haven't seen the Addams Family in a while. It's still a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and Christina Ricci is worth the price of admission.
Is she in the sequel?
Yeah, she's even
Family
better.
Values?
She has a bigger role in Addams Family Values.
Because of what I'm saying, I think.
I think so.
They're
Yep.
like, oh, there's a movie star.
Yep.
Yep. And that worked out. Scott, you're last. Sorry to. That's the way the dice rolls, my friend.
I just gotta play the cards that are dealt to you. So I will go with a breakout performance by Viggo Mortensen in The Indian Runner, directed by Sean Penn.
That's a good one.
I saw that. I'm like, who is that guy? I don't know that guy. He's gonna go places.
Yeah, I saw that on Ren.
He was everywhere. Yeah.
Remember it was on Ren?
Oh yeah, that's probably where I watched it.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Sean Penn's actually a really good director.
He hasn't directed anything for a while, has he?
No, the most recent one he made was Into the Wild, which was really good.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
No, I think he came out with something pretty recent that didn't.
That was bad.
Well, not bad, but just didn't perform.
Well, he's getting to be, an age where it's harder to perform.
Yeah.
He's no good now. He's old. It's all over.
But yeah, I thought it was a pretty electric performance in a very good movie. I highly recommend it. As Sean Penn does good work behind the camera. His other movies are all good too that I've seen.
Isn't that movie based on a Springsteen song or something?
That I don't know. That or maybe it's a John Cougar Mellencamp song.
I think it's from Nebraska. I think it's I'm pretty certain. But Viggo,
Okay.
What happened after this for him? Because I remember seeing him many years later in the Dial M for Murder movie. What was it called? Oh, A Perfect Murder with Gwyneth Paltrow and Michael Douglas.
97, yeah.
What happened?
He was kicking around. I don't recall what he did in the 90s so much, but he was around.
Was that
He was kind of a journeyman until he was Legolas, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a good 6-man off the bench kind of guy. You can count on him, but it's not the superstar.
So name some NBA players that Viggo Mortensen in like 1994 would be akin to.
Like Vinnie Johnson from the Pistons. The microwave, as they call him. Sean Elliott, the Spurs. Let's remember some more guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps.
It doesn't help me at all. Pick any other.
Yeah, but then he became Legolas, and then
He's not Aragon.
No, Aragon. Yeah, Legolas. You idiot.
Sorry. So he's not Legolas.
No, it's not.
Viggo Mortensen's a good call, Scott. Eric, I'm going to derail you just a little bit here because I want to do, looking over these best performances, I have a question of best 1-2 punch of 1991, and I'm just going to give you some options here. You don't get to choose. So Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs or Little Man Tate, Jennifer Connelly in Career Opportunities of Rocketeer, Keanu Reeves in Point Break or Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, Michael J. Fox, The Hard Way, Doc Hollywood, those all came out. Dan Aykroyd in My Girl or
Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble.
No, finally, it's not that one.
Finally, Vanilla Ice as in Cool and Ice or Secret of the Ooze. It's like, who had the best 1-2 punch of 1991?
Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Right? Paul, who do you think of that list right there? Who do you have?
Oh, I thought you were asking Eric. And
No, I wanted all of us to have a choice.
I'm gonna default to Jodie Foster. Just go
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Jodie Foster is a pretty good choice, although I don't remember Little Man Tate as well as I remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, so...
You're going with Vanilla Ice?
I'll go with Vanilla Ice.
That's the other safe bet. Fine, Eric.
Scott, who do you think?
Of the Ooze, Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go Ninja Go, the ninja rap.
Yep.
And a movie that was just about him where he was really cool.
He was the only year he had a 1-2 punch, and so you really gotta, recognize him for that year.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, it's called Highway Patrolman on Nebraska, the 1987 or 88 album by Bruce Springsteen. Highway Patrolman is the screenplay is based on that song.
Huh. How about that?
Interesting. Interesting.
I'm gonna go with Dan Aykroyd.
What? You're all wrong. It's Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly and anything and anything.
That's
yes,
right.
That's true.
13-year-old Gary talking.
That's right. That's right.
I would agree with you.
Is when you're like, Jets, Jennifer Connelly? Oh wow! That's the whole movie where she grew up. So.
Yeah.
From the Labyrinth.
I recently another 1-2 punch that Jennifer Connelly had earlier in her career. I recently watched a Dario Argento movie from 1985 called Phenomena, something like that, where she's like at a boarding school and there's all these hauntings and things, and it's like this hard R giallo horror movie, but she's the same age as she was when she made Labyrinth, which came out the same year. So she's in two like weird fantasy movies the same year, and one was an Italian horror movie. So that was a good year for her too.
Got to work.
I highly recommend watching Phenomena late at night. And Bowie's not in that one though.
Yeah.
I like Phenomena.
All right. Well, that's the performances, guys. We're gonna go next to our category called the I Didn't Get It Award, which, I'd interpret as being something that seemed like a lot of people like, but you didn't get it. But it can be whatever you want it to, whoever gets to go first. And that person is going to be Paul.
Oh, me. Okay. Mine will be quick because we already talked about this movie and I held back my thing on it, but Barton Fink. I didn't get it the first time I saw it. It was like, I liked all the other Coen brother movies, and then I was like, that one, I was like, I don't like this movie. When I saw it the first time I saw it, like, I don't, and then like watch it again. It took me a long time to watch it again to like it because I did not like it so much the first time.
So you eventually did get it, but okay.
It's still not my favorite Coen Brothers movie, but it's a good movie. But the first time I watched it, I was like, and I look at all their movies are kind of like you should watch them more than once. That's
yeah.
Well, not all of them. Intolerable Cruelty and Lady Killers. Don't need to watch that twice.
No,
I have not watched this, but like The Big Lebowski. The more I can watch that again and again and again every time, and I love it. And same with Hudsucker Proxy. Barton Fink's, I probably would like it even more if I watched it more. I've seen it twice. That's it. I've seen it twice. It's just not my favorite movie. And I'm going to mention a brief runner-up because I don't think anybody else is going to say it. Is Captain America. I was very disappointed when that movie came out.
That came out.
The Winter Soldier?
No. There was a Captain America movie that you should see it. I was excited about it as a kid, and it was not good in any way.
Is it one of those ones where they had to make it to keep the patent or something?
I think so.
I don't know. They tried. No, they tried to make a movie you thought that it was somebody would like, and it's bad. So that's.
Sorry to hear that.
It wasn't that you didn't get it. It was more like you didn't want it.
Yeah, that's correct. So I was a loose interpretation. But, yeah, I know we already talked about Barton Fink, and I held back on all when Gary said like it disappointed somebody. I want to know what was in the box, like all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
They're frustrating you on purpose, and you didn't like it.
Correct. Yeah, I didn't like it. Yeah. Well, and it was like it wasn't as funny as I wanted it to be. Like you said, it started out funny and then got less funny as it went along, and that also disappointed me. So like, because there are other movies that I liked are funny the whole way through. So
Yeah.
Like No Country for Old Men.
It's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Stop from the start. The cattle thing. Oh man, that's just great.
Actually, No Country for Old Men is an actual somewhat good analog to Barton Fink because the real evil is sort of existential meaningless and madness in both of them, I think. I mean, remember the ending of No Country for Old Men? That's a very challenging ending.
Yeah, but I like that one. Was it from the beginning? It didn't break theme or change or whatever. It was consistently it the whole movie. Or Barton Fink was like, I thought I was watching a comedy that turned into this weird thing I didn't understand. So
I could see that.
All right.
Bad call. Don't watch it two in a row, everybody. Just watch those two movies separately.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna roll, and I'm gonna get you, Scott, for the I Didn't Get It award.
I was afraid you were gonna come to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was easier to go first. Did you want to say Captain America?
No, I did not.
Because I'll kick Paul's ass for you.
I guess, back in '91, I believe I watched a rental that my parents got. I was intrigued by it. It was called The Fisher King, and I did not get it. Just plain and simple, did not get it.
And when you were 13?
Yeah, 12.
He was
12.
younger.
Yeah.
that was like he was like a Knight Arthur, like King Arthur. Like there was knights flashback in the middle of the movie while the normal movie is going on.
Sort of, but it's a fantasy of
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams' character who has a mental illness.
Right, like he has delusional moments where these things happen, where he's a knight, and then it flashes back to he's just homeless.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Bridges plays his character that's a shock jock, and he has a listener that he's always sort of bullying, and the listener that he bullies kills a bunch of people, and one of them is Robin Williams' wife, and so he feels Jeff Bridges' character kind of falls from all the way to like almost homelessness. And feels like responsible for Robin Williams' situation because he's now homeless. That's what it's about. It's not like your typical 12-year-old.
I just wanted to see Robin Williams sell some.
You wanted to see Hook.
Cadillacs, or that.
Yeah, you didn't mention Robin Williams had a double punch there too.
Oh, you're right. That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah. So have you seen The Fisher King since then?
No, I haven't.
What's your take on Terry Gilliam in general?
Not good. I think he's overrated. I don't think he has. He's all style, no substance.
What? Have you seen The Adventures of Baron Munchausen?
I have a lot of style.
Oh, so stylish.
No substance.
Yeah.
I like that movie. I liked it.
I liked it growing up. Yeah. I'd watch it again. Did he do? What was the one before that? He did
Brazil is right before
Time Bandits.
Time Bandits was the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I remember watching that. But I could take or leave him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's been diminishing returns for a long time. But when we watched 12 Monkeys for the podcast, I thought that was still really, really good. But he didn't write it, so maybe you're right.
Then what was the one with Hunter S. Thompson movie he did? That was terrible.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Other than the Tobey Maguire role, it was garbage.
Yeah, I think Paul and I watched that, and it made Alicia angry. She just hated it so much. She was like mad at us.
She punched it in the face, I pretty much remember. Like, why did you do that?
We didn't
just sitting there.
Make this movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's see who's next here. The I Didn't Get It award goes to Gary.
Okay. I'm going to go with Robin Hood, Men in Tights, No, not Men in Tights, Prince of Thieves.
That's 92.
That's right, yeah. That's the parody. That's the one I did get.
Yep.
So,
It's like you're either DC or you're Marvel. You're
That's
either Men in
right.
Tights or Prince of Thieves.
so I'm going to go Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It was a fine movie, I will say. I guess what I didn't get about it was how big of a movie it became. It was like, it's not that great, I mean, Alan Rickman's given a great performance, but other than that, it was just kind of like, yeah, it's a Robin Hood. I don't understand it.
Yeah, especially since other Robin Hoods have been such failures.
Yep.
I think it's the best Robin Hood movie besides the Disney animated movie, which is better than that. But anyway,
Especially if you're a furry.
So
Yeah.
have you watched all those Robin Hoods, Paul?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I have.
Well, all right. You've asked and answered.
I would say that's the best one. Name a better one, Gary. Name a better Robin Hood.
The Errol Flynn Robin Hood from 19...
Have you seen that? Have you actually seen it?
No.
I've heard good things.
Isn't there one with
Gary. I've seen them all.
Isn't there one with the Elton John kid from The Kingsman and Jamie Foxx or something?
Yes, there is. Yes, that's the latest. Not as good as this Robin Hood movie. So,
And then there's one with Russell Crowe, Ridley Scott made that nobody liked.
Yeah, like what
I
the
don't
hell?
remember that.
That's not even Robin Hood, but yeah.
And then there's the Patrick Bergman, Uma Thurman one that was being made at the same time as Prince of Thieves, and they were afraid to release it in theaters, so it just aired on Fox TV on like
That's
a Monday
right.
I
night.
have
That's
not
right.
seen that one.
Oh.
So maybe that is the best. I have not seen all of them. You caught me, Eric.
It was a young
Hey,
Uma
I'm
Thurman,
just
right?
listing Robin Hoods. I'm not arguing with you about this.
Did you
You
remember?
go, girl.
Was this in your brain, or did you look this up? Did you remember that Robin Hood movie?
I saw it when it was on because I was like, I can watch this for free. It was a real bargain.
That was your Ralph Wiggum.
Yeah.
Watch this for free.
Hey, it was a big deal for me. I was like, this is a
I'm in
new movie
danger.
for me. It's not bad. Uma's in it.
That's right.
Pretty young one.
I remember
Yep.
that there being a lot to like about that Robin Hood movie, but I also felt like it was sort of like a overlong mess. Like it lacked a little zip. And I think most people's biggest problem with it is Kevin Costner. So if you're okay with Kevin Costner, like basically sounding like he's from South Dakota as Robin Hood, then you're probably okay with the movie because like Alan Rickman, as you said. And I think it maybe became a biggest thing as it did is because of that Bryan Adams song, don't you think?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
probably. Which I don't like that song.
Yeah, well, you
Oh,
don't.
there you go.
it
I mean,
doesn't-
it had Morgan Freeman in it too, right? Like Morgan Freeman's in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, as a Muslim bad guy that turns good or something. I'm not
So
sure.
he's Little John in the movie. Essentially, that's his role, right?
I don't. It seems like you're much more familiar with the Robin Hood legend than I am.
I did just make Pinewood Derby car of Prince John from the Animal. That's what Brendan wanted. It's a Pinewood Derby.
Oh yeah, you should send us a picture of that. We'll link to it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll do.
What?
Sounds like you quote, you jackass. I come to this show, Eric, for the love that you give me back.
I was being real. I want to see it. I did not go see that movie because I think that like some of the disturbing attempted rape type stuff got to my mom's ears, and she was not allowing me to go see it. But then my sister did, and I was like, "Ugh."
Why did she get to go see rape and I don't, Mom?
Mom.
Well, and I was a big Mary Elizabeth Mastriantonio fan from The Abyss, the aforementioned Abyss,
that's
so I
right.
really wanted to see it. And I like me some Kevin Costner too. I liked Dances with Wolves, The Untouchables, Field of Dreams.
JFK. That's another double.
Oh yeah,
punch.
JFK.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Jeez.
What too? Actually, he does a very passable Texas accent.
But that South Dakota one, no. That's not good at all.
South Dakota, England. I actually, do you guys remember, like on a Tuesday night or Monday night, sometimes it's
I remember that.
There'd be like a half-hour show, which was essentially just a commercial for a movie that was coming out. I watched this one that was about Robin Hood coming out, and it was like purportedly essentially like about the Robin Hood legend and the making of the movie, but it was just a big long commercial, and it was Pierce Brosnan before he was 007, like walking through the woods narrating this like television program. Do you guys remember this thing?
No.
I kind of remember these though.
No.
I kind of remember what you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry. Is that all you have to say about that?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Okay.
Because you didn't have HBO, that's why you couldn't see it.
That's right. No, I've seen it.
I feel like everybody had a VHS of that movie at one point too.
I think so, yeah.
They were like ubiquitous, like the Titanic soundtrack was. Okay, so this came down to the wire. There wasn't a ton of things I hated, but I'll tell you one thing that I totally didn't get. So
you rolled and it came up you, or did it come up for Scott?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was last.
I already went.
What did you? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fisher King.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that's okay, Gary. Thanks for trying to keep me honest.
You didn't get it.
Yes.
Anyway, the Neverending Story 2 came out in this year, and I was a really big fan of the Neverending Story. As a kid, it was one of the ones I rented over and over and over again, and I really liked the sort of world of imagination in it, and there was like precious few things that were fantasy in the 80s, really. There was like that, and Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. I would just pretty much like rent one of those every time I went. Legend, Willow, that Ralph Bakshi Hobbit movie.
Oh, yep.
I would just cycle through those at the old Burks video. But anyway, Neverending Story I really liked a lot. And this movie is incomprehensible trash. Like, it's a really obvious cash grab, which I feel like the first movie really wasn't at all. Like it's like the
no, yeah, exactly.
Plus it doesn't have that good song.
I've never seen it. I've not seen the Neverending Story 2.
Well, it's I got burned renting it back in the day, and then when I was a camp counselor in '96, we were going to go to the movie theater, and they're like, you can go see Babe or you can go see The Neverending Story. And I was like, I'm going to see The Neverending Story. Guess what they showed? The Neverending Story 2, so I had to watch it again.
Your face.
I've seen it twice. I could have been watching Babe.
I mean, and it doesn't even make any sense. The Neverending Story 2?
You're right.
What?
I know. It's almost as bad as The Last Exorcism 2.
They could just keep saying the Neverending Story every time they make another movie, because that's what it is then. So
yeah, there you go.
Well, I assume it's the director attached to the second one was not the same.
No.
Right.
No,
who
it was
Wolfgang Peterson.
Peterson.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a German production. The whole thing was made in Germany, I think. Yeah, and it's got that opening credits sequence, which is that 80s special effect they love, which is like the swirling clouds in space or whatever. That was kind of expensive. That was in lots of. It was like to show you the movie was kind of expensive.
Like that guy was cool.
Oh yeah, the rock biter. Anyway, this is not how good the Neverending Story is. This is. I didn't get the Neverending Story 2. I didn't want it.
Why didn't you get it though? I mean,
what was so bad?
Yeah, you just didn't like it.
What is the synopsis of the story?
Okay, so I don't remember, Paul. It's bad. So you're challenging me that I got it. I just thought it was bad.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, can I say Highlander 2? Because that's the same thing.
What other sequels came out in 91?
Yeah, but I mean, like they both of those were a precipitous drop in quality, and I've seen Highlander recently. It's not even that good.
No.
But Highlander 2 is a lot worse than it is. And then they were like, "What if we made a third one and it was PG-13 and we added Mario Van Peebles?"
And the third one, and the third one is almost like a remake of the first one. It's like beat for beat the same movie, just PG-13.
Right. Speaking of beheadings.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Another disappointment I'll throw in this category is Naked Gun 2.5.
Category? I didn't
sure.
get it.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, maybe I don't have one that I just didn't get.
I think Hot Shots came out that year too. That's better than Naked Gun 2.5.
Yeah, well, 2.5 really stole a lot of jokes from the Police Squad TV show and then just put them on the big screen, which seems so lazy to me.
So, yeah, it does sound like, Eric, sequels. What's the point?
Yeah. Although I am going to watch that Addams Family sequel sometime because everybody keeps telling me it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It happens sometimes, sequels. They're good.
Sometimes.
T2.
T2.
That's why I picked. Is my favorite movie. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So that means that the They Didn't Get It award is last, and I hope I don't disappoint you with my choice, Scott.
You will.
I'm gonna roll the old dice-a-rooney here, and looks like I'm going first.
All right.
This one.
You had to show us because we thought you'd lie about that.
Well, I just wanted to involve you in the fun, you know. I think that I would say for this was hard. I think I will pick the Reese Witherspoon movie, The Man in the Moon, which is the first time I ever saw her. It's a really small
Sam Waterston, right?
Yeah, movie with Sam Waterston, Jeremy London's in it. It's just a little story, coming of age story set in the 60s. And I remember really liking Reese Witherspoon as a young actress in this movie and liking the movie. And it was one of those ones where it's like we rented it and never had heard of it, but liked it. And people don't really know that much about it. I mean, obviously, it's the first time she was ever in a movie. So I guess some people probably have seen it since, but they didn't get it, meaning they didn't experience it at all. Most people, but it's a good movie. Watch it. The Man in the Moon.
From the same director as To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah. Every once in a while makes a classic.
Yep.
Shall I roll the dice, gang? I guess
what happens when you pick a movie no one's seen. So
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It is a They Didn't Get It award, Paul.
that is true. That's a good point.
Number 2.
Yeah, Scott, were you disappointed in his pick?
No, I'm not disappointed at all. I don't know why you would have expected that.
So am I next?
You're next, Paul. You're number 2.
So everybody's going to be thoroughly disappointed with what I said. So when Gary said,
well, I can't wait.
Yeah, when Gary said the 1-2 punches, he missed one.
Yes.
Of a couple though, but Bruce Willis made The Last Boy Scout and the movie that I liked, which was Hudson Hawk.
Yeah, that was my list too.
I've never seen it.
People say it sucks, but it is a sucky movie, but it knows it's a sucky movie, and Bruce Willis is on point in it, and he's hilarious. And I like that movie a lot.
It's a pretty fun movie. Like if you go in, it's like sure, things don't make sense because it's kind of like, so they time their heist by singing songs, and it's like, well, that doesn't really make sense, but it's still fun that they do it.
Yeah, it's for me, it's a very fun movie, and we watched it a lot, and back down in Ryan King's basement with Matt Seymour, we would watch Hudson Hawk a lot, and I enjoyed that movie. So
Richard E. Grant's giving a great performance, and Sandra Bernhardt's good in it.
Yeah, she's good.
I never liked her.
No.
Oh no, but you're not supposed to like her, and that's why
right.
she's good at this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, she's good at playing herself that you don't like. She's very disturbing in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, what was the rap on that? That it was too weird, or it was like a passion project that they shouldn't have let him make, or like what? What was the story there? Like, what is this a "you're wrong about" situation?
No, I think it's probably not a good movie because it's like Andie MacDowell is working for the Vatican and she has her Southern accent. She's like, what is she doing working for the Vatican?
Well, I'll tell you what she's doing. She's speaking the only way Andie MacDowell knows how, which is that really severe Southern accent. I think she must have tried and just given up on that.
So it's like, how did she get that job? But then, so that doesn't make much sense. And like I said, like the plot's kind of like, what is going on? It's kind of a MacGuffin of like, what exactly are they trying to do? But the whole thing's just kind of fun.
Yeah,
Would you say that it's as good as The Great Muppet Caper?
No.
But that doesn't make it not good.
That's right.
True. I mean, that is one of the greatest heist movies of all time.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah.
I mean,
The Baseball Diamond.
But it is on par with a Muppet movie. Like that's how ridiculous it is. And
Yeah, it makes me feel like maybe if it came out now, people would like it. It certainly would be better than what Bruce Willis has been up to for like 20 years. What happened to him? Did he hit his head? What?
I think
he
he's
lost
like,
his fuse. Demi Moore went away, and then
that's right. That's right.
Oh, it was Demi Moore all along?
It was, yeah.
So we have Ashton Kutcher to blame for that horrible Death Wish remake that he was in recently.
That's right. I fully blame Ashton for that.
Yeah, he's sort of on a Nicolas Cage level of like 10 directed video movies a day. Okay, yeah. So
Hudson Hawk.
the Hudson Hawk, the they didn't get it award. Maybe we'll have you back to talk about Hudson Hawk sometime, Paul.
I'd be happy to. Although I'm scared to watch it now that I'm older. But like the last time I saw it was in college. But still.
Yeah, you'll have the experience Aaron had with Hook.
That's right. Where it's like, well, maybe this wasn't good.
I know that Hudson Hawk is not good, but it's fun. But it may
right.
Jokes may not land anymore. But
Scott, you got number 3. So you're next.
Yeah.
They didn't get it award.
They didn't get it, and by they I mean those Yanks didn't get it. The commitments, the BAFTAs.
Oh yeah.
The Yanks, they got their proper due from the BAFTA awards, but not from any American awards. Great movie, should have been somewhere in at least the Golden Globe nominations, but nothing.
I had that soundtrack, and we did that for the podcast again too. I enjoy that one a lot.
Oh, you already did that one?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, they didn't get it in the US.
The soundtrack was fairly popular here, right?
Ooh, I don't know if I go that far.
Yeah, what's popular? You know, I mean, I bought it.
I mean, was it as popular as like ska music and mid 90s?
No. What are you talking about?
What is this? As popular as Madonna in 1986? No. The Commitment soundtrack wasn't that big. But I remember seeing it at like Sam Goody in the mall, like out with the other like music. Like it was a thing. Yeah, I thought that movie was good. I wouldn't say that I go into the mat for it like that. But yeah,
well,
so it was not popular here?
I don't know how popular it was. I mean, I was only 12 at the time. Not aware of anything, really. I didn't know much about culture and movies and music. But I just saw the awards that were given out that year. I didn't see them listed anywhere for the U.S. awards, but the BAFTAs, they cleaned up pretty well there.
was a period. The 90s were a period of cinema for gritty Irish realism. There's a lot of that.
That's right.
90s.
Yep, we watch them and we talk about them every March.
The Roddy Doyle trilogies.
Yeah, it's true. There was just a lot. There's a lot. The 90s had a lot to offer about a certain subclass of Irish people. The Irish cinema was big in the 90s.
Cole Maney did some major work.
Yeah,
That's right.
Jay Davidson too.
Was that from Con Air?
No. The Crying Game.
Oh, Crying Game.
Gary, I guess that leaves you for the they didn't get an award.
Yeah, so this was a movie that like kind of bombed at the box office, and so yeah, they just didn't get it. I'm talking about the Citizen Kane re-release. So when that originally came out, it was not a big hit.
And the re-release was not a big hit.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't have those. But I mean, let's just talk about Mank. Can we talk about Mank for a moment?
Wait, I told you we're not having a Mank cast, dude.
Dang it. Foiled again. No, I'm actually I don't think, I guess my real answer maybe might be Drop Dead Fred. No, I'm going to go with Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, actually.
They didn't get it.
No, that was actually a good one, though.
Yeah, it's cute. And it had the same sort of knowing humor about it that the first one did. But it also had that awesome performance by What's-His-Bucket as Death.
William Sattler?
Yeah. Death. Maybe kids didn't get the European New Wave cinema joke.
Yeah, right. The Seventh Seal reference of, oh, wait, they're not playing chess. They're playing Twister.
Twister.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Well, we've made it to the end, guys, but you know what that means. It's time for honorable mentions. Stuff that you hated, stuff that you loved, stuff that almost made your top picks, and it's a free-for-all.
Stuff outside of 91? Is that okay?
I mean, it's not that big of a free-for-all. This isn't Nom. There are rules.
I would say a solid B- movie that I saw a lot that is Backdraft. I liked Backdraft as a movie at that time.
That movie is a solid B-. That's Ron Howard's specialty.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I always
deliver a solid B- every time.
Yeah, I mean it's very watchable. You can watch it again
because of Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah,
from the Hudsucker Proxy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think that they should have just had more of Robert De Niro's character in that movie was my thought. Like, he's investigating fires. That's much more interesting than, which Baldwin is having sex on top of a fire truck or whatever.
That's where you and I disagree.
But, I will watch Kurt Russell, I don't know, read the phone book, like they say. I feel like he's just a wonderful actor. I just like to enjoy watching him in whatever.
Yeah, I'm that way with too. And my other one, and I'll shut up and you can talk about all Dutch. I like that movie, and I wanted to mention that. I like that.
Oh, that's they didn't get an award then because they didn't get a Dutch.
That was my second. They didn't get it. If somebody took Hudson Hawk, I was going to say Dutch. So that's
my friend Kenny got it though. He loves that movie.
I mean, it's John Hughes, so.
This is 1991 is the year that John Hughes was cleaning out his script drawer, and he's like, "What the hell? Career opportunities, Dutch,
yeah, exactly,
Curly Sue, whatever.
Do them all.
Just do them.
I got to get the head mansion paid for."
A movie that was hugely popular and won some Oscars, City Slickers. Do you guys seen that since 1991?
I have not.
No.
Everybody watched it back then.
Yeah,
it was huge.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, I loved Yeardley Smith in it. No.
I'm a Bruno Kirby completist, so
that's right.
No, remember Jack Palance is doing one-arm push-ups on the Oscar stage and everything? Like, it was a big deal. Something I ran across later in my life was La Femme Nikita, which came out this year, which is my introduction to the world of Luc Besson. And he followed that up with The Professional, which I liked. So then I was like, man, this guy can do no wrong.
Then he did.
Then he did, yes.
Big time.
But La Femme Nikita holds up. If you haven't ever seen the original French La Femme Nikita, that's like a super well-made, serious action movie, highly stylized French action movie. If you haven't seen that, it's very good.
So where would you say, switch the top, where would you say Necessary Roughness fits in football comedies of all the football, if you're ranking?
So I do my rankings by like which ones have Kathy Ireland, so it's at the top.
That's weird, Gary, because I do mine with Scott Bakula. So
and mine was by Sinbad, so I think that it's just going to take the cake all the way around.
Yeah, and I do mine by worst simulated football games. So that puts it right there at the top.
I've never seen that movie. Should I?
It was. No. If you like football comedies, then yes, it's exactly what you expect from a football.
I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen one of those.
So it was Keanu Reeves. Was it another one with like
the Replacements? Yeah.
And then you had the couple prison movie ones.
Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Longest Yard, and then Adam Sandler remade it.
He made it. So those are the ones I can think of.
The Water Boy with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, so it seems like maybe I'm avoiding these on purpose. But
if you're in the mood for, football comedy.
Yeah, any given Sunday.
It's hilarious.
And then you can watch The Last Boy Scout where the guy runs down and just shoots people instead of having to tackle them. So, yeah.
Right. That's the opening scene. Shocking opening scene.
That was a good opening scene for an action movie to be shocking. So, yeah.
Yep. It was shocking, all right.
There's also Oscar, which was a notable movie in there with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, that could have fit your "they didn't get it" award if you like Oscar.
I didn't like it that much, but the two girls across the street loved it, and every time I'd go over there, they'd be watching Oscar. It was a thing.
Well,
how old were they?
My age, the exact same age. Like,
I'd bet $100,000 that they majored in theater in college.
They didn't, but
because it's like a door slamming. Oh, I'm out $100,000. No.
One's a hairstylist now. Does that count? So
on Broadway?
Yeah, count it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume you mean on Broadway.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna add one in here too, if I can.
Go, Scott.
Notable movie, still pretty good. Defending Your Life.
Yep, I was gonna make sure that one got talked about too. Yeah.
Rip Torn does great work doing Rip Torn stuff.
Yep.
Classic Rip Torn. Just a nice, easygoing comedy. Not gonna freak you out. Just gonna have a few chuckles.
Yeah,
interesting ideas on the afterlife. Nothing mind-blowing, but just a good, solid film.
And Meryl Streep, she's a great actress, but she's just so effortless in that role too. Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's just great. It's a fun movie.
I mean, Meryl Streep has been so good for so long, like 40 plus years of being really good at movies, right?
Yep.
And she's always been great. Like, just pick an era. She's great.
Is there one? What's her worst movie? Her worst acting?
She's in bad movies.
Yeah, Death Becomes Her.
But she's
bad.
I like Death Becomes Her. You don't like that movie?
It's been a while since I've seen it, so I remember it being like. That's right.
Yeah. That's really more of a Robert Zemeckis movie that you could see. It's like it's almost animated. He's like, I want it to be animated, and they keep making me put these humans in movies.
I'll just go do Beowulf.
Yep. And the creepiest Christmas movie of all time, with the creepiest Tom Hanks of all time, Polar Express. What happened to Robert Zemeckis? Anyway.
Yep.
Any other movies people wanted to give a shout out to? Nobody mentioned Scorsese's Cape Fear yet.
Oh, yeah.
It came out this year.
So there you go. De Niro, 1-2 punch, backdraft Cape Fear.
Yep. Oh, there you go. A lot of 1-2 punches that year. Is there a 1-2-3 punch? Is there anybody?
Well, actually, Keanu Reeves was in My Own Private Idaho also.
That's actually a really good year. Then that's an amazing 3 movies to be in one year. They're so wildly different from each other. Like they couldn't possibly be. I can't imagine 3 movies being that. I mean, I don't know. He's always been cool. It's just like it just depends on whether or not you want to beat up on him. Because back in the day, I was like nobody recognized how cool he was, even though we kind of did. But now we're like, no, he's awesome. I don't know what changed.
Yeah,
he is awesome.
I did like the Doors movie. I don't know if we mentioned that at all. Val Kilmer.
Well, there's a 1-2 punch for you.
Frank
Stone.
Frank Wally.
And JFK. Frank Wally.
He's in Career Opportunities and the Doors.
And he's brutally murdered in the early part of Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Did Dermot Mulroney have a second film in 91? Because I'd put that on the list too. He was in Career Opportunities.
That's right. I don't know. Let's see.
Okay.
Nope.
Dang.
That movie made me a little infuriated when we watched it for the podcast because they just did not write a third act to that movie. They're like, whatever. Gives a shit.
That's right. I'm John Hughes. I don't need to write a third act.
He's only got to pitch him on 2 acts, and they're like, you know how to finish this.
That's right.
What are teenagers going to do? Not watch this? I don't care about them. Blah. Fried Green Tomatoes came out this year as well. It was the Oscar season was stacked with the JFK, the Prince of Tides, the Cape Fear, the Fried Green Tomatoes. That's why you didn't get your commitments in there.
They didn't get it.
and that's why we call it that, you guys.
There's too much prestige there.
Oh, Steve Martin was in Father of the Bride and L.A. Story.
Man,
L.A. Story has a very similar vibe of comedy to Defending Your Life. This sort of breezy, you may not laugh, but you're going to smile kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just like the year of a lot of B movies, right? Like, not B movies, but B rated. Like, just they're good, but
right.
they're like, if they're
you mean like movies with bees in them?
Yeah. My Girl.
Yeah, there is that. Like movies, back when we watched TV, if they were on TV, you would watch all these movies, but not like purposely go rent them.
Oh. Sorry.
So in a way, there's really like 10 B movies. There's the movie B movie.
Pure Luck movie, the bee sting, and the guy swells up. It was the bee. You're the bees.
Yeah. There's a documentary called Honeyland. That's a B movie.
I think the Double Life of Veronique. Doesn't she be a bee in one of those lives?
No, but I think the Rocketeer is a bee.
That's right.
He can fly, so he's probably a bee.
Yeah, he's a bee by definition. Very good.
Man, you're right. There were a lot of B movies this year.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
I recently caught up with The Bride of Reanimator, and that is a extreme gore fest that's fairly amusing. Speaking of knowing what it is, nothing can touch the original Reanimator, but The Bride of Reanimator is fairly amusing for what it is. If you're a Jeffrey Combs fan, I'm talking to you horror fans out there. You know who I'm talking to.
They don't listen.
Yeah.
Maybe there's one guy going like, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I love that one guy.
He probably likes the Freddy movie, the last Final Freddy.
That's right. That
came out too.
Final Nightmare.
Yeah, that's one of the most hated Freddy movies among Freddophiles. This was a bleak year for horror. That movie has Roseanne and Tom Arnold in it, and it's got a lot of comedy stuff. Very nearly like a PG-13 comedy movie. It's very strange.
Brighter days were ahead for those horror films.
Yeah, I mean, horror stumbled around for a bit until Scream, which sort of reinvigorated things by turning horror meta in 5 years from this. But the 90s is tough. It's tough. You get yourself a high quality horror movie like Silence of the Lambs, and people don't even want to call it a horror movie because it won Best Picture.
No comment.
Yeah. That's bait. That's bait, Gary.
Are you reenacting that Mad Max gif right now?
That's right.
Well, that was 1991. Unless anybody else has anything else left to say about it, I think we figured it all out, guys.
It looks like the actress Teresa Russell was both in Kafka and the movie Whore in 1991.
I can vouch for that. She was
punch.
She was the titular whore. And I don't remember her in Kafka because we watched that for the podcast, maybe the first or second podcast.
I believe it was
Numero uno.
And that's a strange film. But I don't remember Teresa Russell in it.
Nope, neither do I. But just throw that out there. Eric, you can finish signing off.
Before we go, I was going to try and figure out. Do you remember what the girl's name is? Brooke Smith. She's Catherine Martin. She's down in the well. She's been in 88 movies, Paul.
Oh wow, she's doing it. All right.
Most recently, she was in that movie Bombshell with Margot Robbie and Nicole Kidman and Charlize. So she's been working steadily for 30 years. So in your face.
F you, Paul. F you.
Thank you for coming, Paul.
Coming for me, so got it.
Paul, we couldn't do it without you. Thanks for coming. And also thanks for coming, Scott. I was glad we got to talk about Barton Fink together. I've been Eric Spiegel.
I've been Gary Linton.